So, students, many of you are done with the 10th and 12th board exams, and now you are on the pathway of taking the very, very important decision of your life, which relates to what should be your career choice. So, whenever we listen to that word career, many people would remember the dialogue from the famous movie Three Idiots, which says, ऐसा काम करो जिसमें तुम्हारा टैलेंट हो तो काम काम नहीं मजा बन जाता है सो चूज अ करियर which is something which relates to your talent and then your work will be fun. But is it the right way to choose a career path? Actually, there was a very shocking news which revealed something very interesting, which stated that 93% of Indian students are aware of just 7 career options. What are parents doing wrong? These were the 7 choices that students take generally in India, and rest 30%, if you see, 30% are career choices, opportunities which are not even known to the students. So this news also stated a very important fact that there are 250 different types of jobs options available in India. Still, students are just choosing making a career choice of 7 types. So it's a very important life decision, and your entire, you can say, happiness, stress, depression, everything is related to the career choice. Many things connected to your life these days will be connected to the career choice which you make. So to help you to take this important decision of your life smoothly, we are inviting in Mind Wellness Every Day a very profound personality, Dr. Netra Neelam, who is going to give us tips and guidelines in the interview ahead relating to how to make a career choice, and also what is the importance of career counseling in this journey. So Dr. Netra has an experience of more than 2 decades in higher education with a doctorate in human resource. She is also a certified emotional intelligence coach and also holds a number of internationally recognized certifications in personality testing and those instruments which are related to career counseling like MBTI, FIRO-B, Strong Interest Inventory, and Belbin. So let's invite Dr. Netra Neelam into this particular interview session of Mind Wellness Every Day. So, from the side of Mind Wellness, I welcome Dr. Netra Neelam for this career counseling interview. So, Netra, I think I would like to ask you the first of all that what is a career? Because people are confused on this aspect itself. Like, what is the role of a career in life and what is a career? So, just tell us about that first.
Yeah. So a lot of times, people feel career is life. So if I have to start getting into a particular career, people feel that is the way my life is going to be. And traditionally, if you look at career or career for that matter as a definition, if you look at, it is nothing but a sequence of positions that one aspires to have in life. Right from the time you got into an organization, or you probably decided to be on your own and go the entrepreneurial way, career is nothing but a step by step transition for a better and better purpose. Okay, so most of the times people look at career by way of various opportunities that do come in their way, which you can explore. And traditionally, people used to look at career as a static frame, where if I get into a particular domain, I would retire in that domain only. So that is a traditional belief system of career. And as of now, people who are around us have lived that belief.
Yes.
And so whenever a person talks about career as such, people feel career is something that I choose to earn a living and something that I have to live by for the rest of my life if I have to continue to earn that living.
Yes, right. So, and many people also think that career is money, so they equate it with money also. That is what I've seen around. That people say, okay, this is like a source of my living. This was a very
That's it.
old way of thinking about career. But do you think that we should now switch to something else, something better now?
Absolutely. Actually, as I said, if see people started working because they wanted to live a better life. But later on, that working became an obsession that they stopped living that better life. You know,
Yes.
so whenever, so as you rightly mentioned, people equated career is equal to money. But believe me, today it's very, very easy to get a rewarding career. What is very difficult is to get a satisfying career, and all that we see nowadays is a movement towards this change of, along with the money that I get, along with my career becoming rewarding, am I also getting satisfaction out of whatever I choose? So earning is important, but just imagine earning in a fun way, earning your living, yeah, in a particular domain which you enjoy the most. So I think this is a shift that has happened, and that shift is for good.
Right. And many people today, they are not just stuck in that 10 to 5 routine like olden times. So today, the career occupies a major portion of your day, in fact, sometimes even on weekends. So,
Absolutely.
work-life balance, we say, but actually, work occupies a major portion. And if you're not happy with that portion of your life, then it will be a bigger problem.
Actually, over here, I mean, what I have coined for myself is it's never work-life balance. Now we have to talk about work-life blend. So at any point in time, if I feel, 8 hours I will work and another 8 hours I will be at home with my family, and next 8 hours I need a good night's sleep. I don't think it works like that. It will never ever be a linear equation. So it will always be a concept of econometrics, where you have the right variables to look at. So today, if one has to look at an email at 5 o'clock in the morning, it is me who's going to look at the email at 5 o'clock in the evening and reply. So it's all about how I blend my career and my family,
Yes.
or other relationships which I have in life. So it's no longer a balance. And if you truly ask me, one should not seek to have that balance, because you may not be able to get there. So it's more like a blend which you would want to have in your life. And I think it is. So today we talk about the traditional career, and we talk about protein career. This is a new, terminology people use. Yeah, where traditional careers looked at how somebody else is to govern the way I am going to go ahead. Protein career today talks of what am I going to do for myself to be able to be better than what I was yesterday. So it's no longer 9 to 5. It's more to do with how together. So life does not have, life is not led in bits and pieces.
Right.
Life happens simultaneously.
Right.
So let's look at work life as a blend
End of.
and not a balance.
Yes. So another thing is like, just as I introduced and said that okay, 10th and 12th exams are over, and these all these I mean students and fresh brains are now going to go into a career choice. So maybe they are a bit confused. So I think your guidance on how to choose the career in the right way would be really good and helpful for them.
Yeah, so and that is why I a lot of times get into these sessions with the youngsters to help them understand how exactly they should view their career. And today we don't talk of a career which is going to be a part of you for the rest of your life. Today we talk of an individual who switches at least 3 to 4 careers by the time he takes a decision. Now it's fine. And in fact, even at the age of 60, 65, 70, if you say now it's fine, the day you move out from the first one, next day you start thinking of what next. Okay, and you want to get into something else. And at age 70, 75, if you say I want to get into something else, then over there it is more satisfaction that you look at than the reward. And when you talk about the youngsters, a lot of times we see people have career choices depending on hearsay, you know. So they will ask others around
True.
and make a career choice. But
Right.
one thing youngsters should remember is career is all about your interest, and interests evolve. Okay. So I'm sure a lot of times, we also as youngsters, we felt suddenly one day I wanted to become a doctor. Next day I wanted to join an army. Third day, I was so fascinated by the conductors in the bus that I used to feel I should become a conductor.
Right.
And suddenly, sometime I used to get into an argument with a friend and felt I really would do well as a lawyer. And all this happened in a span of, or not a span, but in a gap of, say, 1 month. So
Or
suddenly, yeah, 1 month, second month, third month, and there were lots of things one is confused about. So, however, what happens is after the age of 14, 15, our interests start to stabilize. And that's the time we should get the right guidance in terms of how I, as an individual, have my interests and how my interests can be looked at when it comes to choosing a particular career.
right.
Yeah. And so it is important that youngsters today use various platforms to be informed about what all are the avenues available. Today, world has become a global village. And Priyanka, frankly, when we started our career 20 years back, we didn't have so many choices.
Right.
In fact, internet was not very prominent. Yeah, we didn't have so many platforms and so much of guidance around.
It was just
And
like
so,
science means doctor and or engineer.
absolutely correct. And we didn't even know how to reach out to people.
Right.
Today, world has become a global village, and you just have to reach out to an individual through one particular email or through a social media post, and you will have many people who will come to you to guide you.
Okay.
So this is something that we lacked as a generation, is what I feel. And today's generation, I would feel, when it comes to career, one should first look at what interests
Right.
do they have. So
Sometimes it's
that's the choice.
interest, they do have interest, but then probability is that from the parent side or some other, you can say, pressures in life, they feel that okay, this interest is not going to give me money. First part. Second thing, they may also feel that interest may not give them a, you can say, a flourishing, what we can say, promotions, or you can say a step
So,
ahead.
let me just give you a bifurcation, okay? Two things which youngsters today miss. Yeah. One is a career. Next is a hobby.
Right.
Okay. Now, sometimes people miscalculate this aspect.
Right.
Sometimes you feel your interest, okay, is so much that you can get into a career, but actually the level at which your interest is in a particular domain currently is only at the level of a hobby.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you one simple example where you will understand both these aspects. Okay, now I am into higher education for the last 22 years. Now, this was definitely my interest. So, my interest was towards teaching right from the beginning.
Correct.
But I had made a conscious decision that even if I want to become an educator, I do not want to get into school education.
Right.
Okay. So, that's a choice I made. And I said, no, if I want to get into teaching, I have to get into higher education only. Now, that is the first thing. Okay. Second is, I love baking. Okay. But tomorrow, if I say, yes, because I love baking, I will, just shrug off my 9 to 5 job, yeah, and get into a full time,
Baking.
baking avenue.
Yes.
Now, just imagine my interest is not in baking to such an extent where I can compete with the best of bakers
Okay.
around us.
Right.
This is one important, distinction that people have to make in their life.
Okay.
So
Sometimes
if you're
interest and skill.
this also could be like if you have it,
Absolutely.
but I don't have the skill to reach out to that particular.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I will tell you one small little experiment, which the youngsters today can make in order to distinguish between my interests in terms of a career and my interest, which is just limited to the level of hobby.
Right.
Okay. And that is a what do you say, self calculation which a person can make in terms of competency. Okay. Today we talk about a competitive world. Now, what does that mean? If we are talking about a competitive world, then competency plays a very important role. Okay, so you have to be competitive in a competitive world to be able to gather whatever the world has in store for you.
Right.
And what is this competency? Competency is nothing but knowledge, skill, and the right attitude. So, if you have to become competent, you assess yourself in terms of, do I have the knowledge to be able to ace in that particular domain?
Right.
Do I have the requisite skills to be able to sustain in that domain? And do I have the right attitude to be able to handle that domain?
Right.
Now, this is a self assessment which an individual can do before you actually go into a particular career choice.
If we see all these three, I think that's quite helpful for the people who are making a career choice. But there are many, even youngsters I've seen, they're so much confused, they cannot assess their own personality, their own skill sets, their own knowledge, because it's quite a raw age and they may not be really clear on everything. So how would you suggest, I mean, what would be, would there be some kind of a testing or something like that which can be done to know their personalities or know their you can say career inclinations, which can help them and guide them in decision making?
Yeah, so a lot of times, we are confused as to what career we should get into because we are not aware of ourselves.
Yes.
Okay, there are people around us who observe us, and on the basis of their observation and their opinion, okay, we make certain choices. And a lot of times, the at least till the age of 10th standard, maybe till the age of 16 or till the age of 18, even for that matter 21, we are not self-aware. Okay, so self-awareness plays a very, very important role in first understanding who am I as an individual. Okay, am I a doer? Okay, or am I a thinker?
Right.
Okay, am I an individual who is investigative? Okay, am I an individual who likes to explore possibilities? Okay, am I an individual who likes to create newer things?
Yes.
So a lot of times it so happens that we fail to understand ourselves, and we do not give enough and more opportunity for ourselves to understand ourselves better. And today we have a lot of psychometric instruments, which are in place to give us that understanding. And today's parents, I would feel, and today's children, I would feel, should make this conscious decision. I'll give you one simple example also over here, because a lot of times when we say psychometry, people feel it is something out of the world. Yeah, and should I really get into it or not?
Right.
But
There's
just
not
with
much
this
of it,
example,
not much
yeah,
of
see,
it.
correct. Now, say just very simple. Suppose I suddenly feel very low, or I suddenly feel loss of energy. Okay, and people in my house understand that. The first thing a person will say is, wait, I think sugar level has come down.
Mhm.
Okay, and probably they will give me a spoon of sugar,
Right.
and maybe I'll feel better.
Yes.
Okay, now every time I feel that, is self medication of having a spoon of sugar good enough, or should I go to a doctor and get a blood test done for sugar?
Right.
Correct. Now that blood test that is done for sugar is using the right kit
Correct.
to understand your blood sugar levels.
Yeah. And it's confirmed that.
Absolutely, it is confirmed. And whom are you going to? You are not going to a next door shop to do it.
Right.
You are going to a registered,
Qualified.
or qualified lab which is reliable,
Correct.
which is valid, and you go and do that testing and basis that report. Now, what do you do with the report? You again cannot self-medicate. You have to take that report and go to a medical doctor, a practitioner, to give you a line of treatment. Correct? And if that line of treatment is correct, yeah, your health falls in place. Now, where did all this begin? It began with the right diagnosis. So, if you do not diagnose correctly, then the line of treatment is going to definitely deviate
Correct.
from what it actually should be. Okay. Similarly, when you talk about these inventories, yeah, there is a very beautiful inventory which is called as the strong interest instrument.
Right.
Okay. It has a research of more than 80 years. Yeah. So you should use the right diagnostic tool
So
to
it's a
understand.
proven and
Absolutely. Proven, tested, valid, reliable, to understand self. And once you understand self, it also gives you enough and more opportunity to explore and look at various opportunities for careers which align with your interest. And then, you know, if you love your work, you don't work a single day. I mean, that has been the principle of my life.
yes.
And I live by that principle.
True.
Yeah.
So this instruments and you can say the testing that a person or a student or maybe you can say a person who's making a career choice has to do. Is it like very costly? Because people say that it's too costly and I don't want to go for it. Why should I go for a very scientific instrument? I know my interest and I'll go for that career, but they'll end up into wrong, you can say, choices. Later they regret. That is also what
Absolutely.
we see in life. So, what would you
Yeah.
tell those people who are looking at the cost rather than the benefit?
Correct. Now, see, please, one thing I would like to put across to again all the youngsters and their parents, and I'm sure everyone who will watch this video has the capacity to buy an iPhone, has the capacity to have internet, or has the capacity to have a smartphone, so that's quite an investment, right?
True.
And according to me, education is never an expense. Education is investment. Okay. So all these career instruments that you see, yeah, are not even 1/10 of the fees that you will pay for the career you have chosen. Okay. Now you have to understand, say for example, today, as I will continue the same example of the blood test, today you do a normal testing, yeah, you find out what is your cholesterol, you find out what is I mean the entire lipid profile or your thyroid or whatever. Now you need how much? You need some 4,000 rupees or something to find out your entire blood sugar level and all the various parameters, correct? But just imagine if you don't have that in front of you, the entire line of treatment that the doctor is going to give is going to fail.
It's going to be wrong.
Similarly, today, if you look at a normal fee, yeah, of a school child, normal fees for 1 year in first standard and second standard is above 1 lakh. If you get into medicine, okay, the fee that you will pay per year is about 10 lakhs.
Yes.
You get into engineering, you will not pay anything less than 2.5, 3 lakhs.
Right.
Now, just imagine you can't pay that fee for a year and then come back after a year saying, I'm not
Right. I'm
enjoying
not
this.
suitable for that.
This is not something that I require.
Right.
Okay. So sometimes, depending on the kind of investment you are trying to make in a particular career, if you look at that cost, then the amount of money you are going to give for diagnosis of which career should I get into is not even 1/10.
Right, right.
Okay. So it is always better that you have scientific diagnosis
Correct.
before you go into choosing a career for yourself.
And
Now, if you've not done
what is
that,
that? I think that 1 year of loss,
see, 1 year of
you-
loss.
and
Now,
plus
just
your
imagine that
mental
1 year
state,
of, absolutely, 1
stress,
year of loss is something that cannot be recouped,
recovered. Yes.
Yeah, then the mental stress that you get into
Yes.
cannot be managed. Next, you have lost 1 year of your career.
Yes. Where you could have gone a step ahead, you're still lagging behind.
Absolutely.
And
And what you've
certain
seen is your peers go ahead.
yes, correct. That is also an aspect.
Correct.
People have gone ahead, I'm still there. So that
Correct.
be one of
And
the
so for us to, and then there is again an inhibition. If I have taken the first career and if I have not done well, then I get dual pressure when I move into something else, where there is a dual pressure in terms of now I cannot fail here. Okay, I have already lost 1 year. Okay, so I feel as parents, if we are educated enough, we should take and make an informed decision.
right.
Yeah. So before investing, it's like, a trailer
Yeah, and
which
people
you will get.
even pay for entrance exams, they pay for tuitions, they pay for so many things. But
Correct.
checking out the interests, the personality types, and going into a right career, which is going to be staying probably with maybe the whole life also sometimes with that person. For that, we
Absolutely.
have
I'll
to
give you one
uh,
example. Okay. So just about 2-3 days back, I was speaking to a student. Yeah. And he is doing his master's, yeah, in business administration. And a student who is interested in marketing. Yeah. So he's taken marketing as his specialization. Now, what I want to put across to you is how your personality plays a role in shaping your career. Okay.
right.
And most of the times, what do we feel? A person who is in marketing, yeah, would be a person who has a personality of extroversion, somebody who wants to talk, somebody
Right.
who wants to engage with individuals, somebody who would want to have lots of people to interact with.
Around. Yes.
Okay. So when I was talking to him, he said, ma'am, I really love marketing as a field. However, I don't like too much to interact with people.
Okay.
And then when I pondered a little more, now being a psychometric professional,
Yes.
just by observing the individual and understanding his behavior, one is able to gauge, what could be his personality.
Right.
Okay. And he was an individual who had a preference for introversion. And what I saw in him was he preferred a profile of marketing analyst.
Okay.
Now just imagine. So a person with a preference for introversion has
Yes.
still chosen marketing,
Marketing.
but within marketing, he has looked at a position of marketing analyst.
So that's giving him a satisfying career also, and at the same time, he
A
doesn't.
rewarding one.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So otherwise,
So
he would have
this,
chosen something else because of introversion. It would also not fit in.
absolutely. And these career inventories, they give you directions on two levels. One is what you can choose by way of a career and to earn a living.
Right.
Second, it also gives you an indication of what can you do when you are not doing anything. That means it also gives you an indication of how you can spend your time when you are at leisure.
Correct.
Because a lot of times what we do when we don't have anything to do governs our productivity
Yes.
in our work.
It's like that energy booster which
Absolutely.
picks up.
So I seriously feel we must, as parents, invest in this diagnostic tool.
Yes.
Because now we have a choice. All these days we were not aware of it.
Correct.
And I'm so happy today India has, embraced all these career testings or these personality tests. By the way, the tests which I practice, all these are tests which have been studied for a couple of years abroad. Okay, so all these are international tests which as of now are not developed in India. And I'm so happy that today these advanced tests are available in India.
Yes.
Okay. Also,
At
just
least we
one
can take
more
the
thing
benefit of whatever is available.
is globally acceptable,
Yes.
because today we want our child to be a global citizen, right?
True.
We don't want our children to be restricted within a particular city or even
When
within
they
a
have
particular
such
state.
a huge, availability of choices and things, why should they be restricted?
Absolutely. And if we are talking about a child to be a global citizen, then I might as well accept the norms of global citizenship,
True.
which means I cannot compete only within my region or within my city or within my state or within my country.
Yes.
So if I have to, compete globally, then it is important for me to understand what are the global standards of career.
Right.
And these career instruments are capable of
Doing
comparing,
that. Yes.
yes, comparing my interests with the global interests
Yes.
of individuals, which opens up my perspective towards so many different careers which are available today.
Okay, so that's a very interesting thing that we have those instruments available and we can make a career choice with the help of that and know ourselves also better. One thing is that sometimes now these days we find people even in their 30s and 40s, they want to switch careers. Like they're not very comfortable with what they're doing till maybe they made a choice which was under some pressure or some reasons. And so now they want to switch. So what would you suggest these people? Would they also benefit out of it, or is it a peculiar age group that can benefit?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, interests evolve. Okay. And by the time we are 14 plus, yeah, we kind of see some stability within that evolved interest. Okay. So such psychometric instruments, yeah, especially when it comes to career related conversations, you can take these instruments after you are 14.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can explore the what do you say, the strength of these instruments till mid career. Okay, say even 45 plus, 55 plus.
Okay.
Sometimes when you want to switch, people
Right.
have taken this instrument even at the age of 60 plus,
Okay. So there's
so
no barrier as such.
there is no barrier
After
as
14
such.
anytime.
Correct. And a lot of times, we, as you mentioned just now, sometimes it is because of peer pressure. Sometimes it is because of financial pressure that, I make certain choices.
Choices.
But if I want to switch, then I have to have a concrete backup in terms of a tool which has reinstated my
Right.
belief
Right.
that I can switch.
Yes.
Okay, so let me give you one small example. Last year, I had someone who came to me who was working in a manufacturing industry for at least about 17, 18 years. Okay, and a 9 to 5 job, he was very happy with what he was doing. And he came to me once and he said, Dr. Nitra, I just want to have an opinion in terms of should I switch and get into doing my own business?
Okay.
Now, see, these cannot be just conversations, right, between two individuals. And I cannot just give my opinion.
Opinion, yes.
Opinion is just discussion. I
Yes.
mean, I say something, you say something, but
That
where is
doesn't
the
have any
scientific basis?
base.
Correct. Where is the scientific basis of a decision? Okay.
Right.
So I advised him to get into doing a psychometric test, which was the strong interest instrument, in terms of the career piece. And what I saw was he had really very strong interest as of now in terms of being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Now, basis that instrument, I was able to guide him.
Right. So what he
How he
felt
can
was
switch.
correct. I mean,
Yes.
he could do.
And today, if you see, okay, now we soon have the Hindu New Year, which is going to happen. Now, last year, just imagine on the day of the New Year, yeah, he started his own business.
Okay.
He left his job,
Okay.
okay. He started his own business and he's doing really well.
Okay.
And he said, it was this instrument which gave wings to my dreams.
So Dr. Netra, that was really, insightful, and it's like really great that you have spoken about all these instruments and everything, which can guide people and take a perfect, or you could say a best career choice they can make, and this can actually help them achieve what they really want to achieve in life, and at the same time, not just climbing the corporate ladder, but also having a deeper, you can say, satisfaction in their life, which is even more important. So that's really good. Now, this instruments which you spoke about, I just want to tell the viewers that this, you can say, analysis and interpretation that you need for career counseling, this can be done in person also and online also. So
Yes,
basically,
absolutely.
it's like globally available, you can say, instrument. It's quite possible for you to go for an online mode. You can contact us. We will share the contact details. The website is available. You can even click on the website and go for career counseling. And Dr. Netra will also be helping you out in career counseling ahead. So you can take the
Since it is yeah, since it is a global instrument,
Yeah.
it is available online and globally.
Yes.
So I think you should definitely look at the contact details and
Yeah.
go ahead and make the right career choices.
And I think it's the best time for those people who are getting into making of a career choice. So I think they will really benefit if they have a proper guideline and proper, you can say, understanding. Like we said, we talked about the blood test, which you gave a very nice example. So if they take their own, if they have their own testing and analysis, they will definitely benefit in making the right choice. Yeah, so we
Absolutely. And just a word of caution before we end, So you'll see a lot of tests. So on the internet, if you just type career counseling, okay, or personality testing,
Correct.
there are more than 2,500 tests which are available.
Correct.
Now, any testing unit, so it's like, Google can give you an answer to everything. You say you have a headache, Google, what should I do? It can give you lots of medications.
Right.
Okay, so same is the case with any of these instruments. So lots is available on the net, but how reliable they are and how valid they are and how useful they will be for you as an individual. Yeah, that is completely a choice you have to take.
Yes.
So while opinions are freely available,
Yes.
okay, suggestions and recommendations are something we need in life. So this was just one word of cautious.
Yeah, that's actually very essential because in today's world we find a number of websites and many things which do give the wrong pathway even towards, you can say, taking the right decision for career counseling. So yes, they should be really careful on this. So we thank Dr. Netra Neelam for this amazing interview, and it's really going to help the viewers and anybody who is subscribed to this channel, as well as to people who would be just passing on these details to your friends and family also. And all the best to all your career achievements ahead. And we wish you all the best to have a rewarding and satisfying career in your life. And thank you.